Previously on Quantum Kickflip. You're saying that they're after you for some kind of components?
Some coils that we found.
They're incredibly powerful and emit a signature that is allowing us to be tracked.
Are you talking about Ezrium coils?
I guess so. I mean, we found them in Ezria.
I don't recall there being any mandate to relinquish said coils.
Maeve kind of takes a nervous look at the rest of her crew and is like, if that is Myper, then what do they actually want with us? And if it's not Myper, then who is it?
Why did you not get rid of your coil back in Desneen?
I'm able to talk with my best friend because of this. I can't just throw that away without knowing that I'd be able to get him back.
You kind of beat us on our turf, I guess, a couple of times now. So I want to beat you on yours.
What about race along the top? First one to the other side wins.
That was a close one.
Yay, you saved my butt back there. Thanks for that.
You are so welcome. Can you say that a little more into the camera, please? With all the same regard that you would have for taking batteries out of a remote, Sham opens up the Dibo Vice and removes the negative friction coil. And the moment he does, Carcidican reverts to Scampican.
He sends out a message to the crew and he just says, I vuxed up. I kept the coil. I was afraid of what I would lose and now I lost it. I kept the coil.
I think it's time now to roll an opportunity.
After reading over these options, I think we're going to spend all 3 of our +3 and take Team Up, a mutually beneficial opportunity for you and a rival or enemy.
On the LED billboards of Operablum, a new commercial begins to play. Scramcat and Wilkies join forces to bring you the most intense panic energy drink flavor yet. Scramcat's Cran Slam is only available to the most extreme Slugblasters who take on Scramcat's newest course, the Cran Slam Kitty Cat Hover Track. Do you have what it takes to get slammed? Everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Quantum Kickflip, a Slugblaster actual play podcast. My name is Laena, I am your host and your Slugmaster, and with me are some of my best and funniest friends in the whole world who will introduce themselves to you now. Players, as you introduce yourselves, I want to know, what is your favorite sport to play?
Hi, my name is Michael Vetsch, and I'm here playing Woldton Wick, the chill playbook with the robot companion. And my favorite sport to play would be soccer. The good old European football. I've played it all growing up, indoor, outdoor. I'll kick a ball with my foot, and that's the sport name.
Hi, my name's Liam. I play Helix Pinnacle, the smarts playbook with the hard light board, and I'm not really much of a sportsman, but I did enjoy when I played briefly lacrosse. Having like a big catapult in your hand really compensates for the inability to throw things with any speed or accuracy. So.
Hi, my name's David Ray, and I play Trev 4, the Heart Playbook, and the game I most like to play is basketball. I was in Mendoza. I was on the team and everything, and went
to regionals, nationals, districts.
I don't know. We did okay.
Hold the hoop. Was that what
Capitals?
All I know is it was easy for me to get on the team because I was the only person who was 6'3". So it's just like, you're on the team. This is Mendoza. There is no one else that's 6'3".
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Robyn. I play Maeveline Xandross, the grit playbook with the photonic jacket. And my favorite sport to play is air hockey. Is that a sport? Probably no, definitely not. But I'm counting it anyway. Am I good at it? I think so. Is it mostly just that air hockey is a thing that people don't practice at and don't cultivate a skill, and it's just like you only have to do it once every like few years maybe, so then people aren't practiced and it's easy to like excel at? Probably that one. Whatever, air hockey, it's great. I love it.
And as I mentioned, my name is Laena. I am your host and your Slugmaster, and I don't think I play like real sports. Like I like basketball, but mostly just like playing horse. And, like, I like hockey, but I think that's because when I was, like, 13, my brothers and I would go out on the street. I think I've told this story before, where I was the goalie, and they'd be like, this is hockey now. We shoot a ball at you. So just whatever halfway's approximation of a sport, that's my favorite sport to play.
When you said playing horse, I just pictured you galloping around a field. And I was like, oh, wait, no, the basketball one.
Yeah, not pretend horse, which also very much on the table. Speaking of sports, you have an opportunity to team up with a rival crew. What does that have to do with sports? We're about to find out. Let's play some Slugblaster!
Yay! Go team.
Goldstar Disaster. We are going to join you on a video call. Whether you're together, perhaps in one of your improved hangout locations that you get with your extra clearance, or whether you're in your own domiciles taking this call, I leave up to you. But you are on a call with your sponsor rep for Wilkie's Candy Corporation. She has bubblegum pink hair in a messy French braid. Looks like she hasn't slept in maybe 4 days. Her name is polyvinyl chloride, but you can call her Chloe.
Not Polly.
Can we be all in different rooms just so we can get a description of what everyone's Zoom background is?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
And I think Helix has a stunts poster that features Mogi with like it looks like he's trying to shove a basketball into some hole on his body, and it's we'll leave it up to the imagination, but that's like all the guys are doing silly things with like different sports balls, and because they're the stunt crew, they're wild. And otherwise, he's got a bunch of like diplomas and like certifications, things that say he's he's the best at this, he's top of that, he's got a certified like. Weirdly, he's got his own, like they put on organic food, like a label to say certified organic. He's essentially got that, but for the Pinnacle project.
Yeah.
Like his organic certification.
Certified pod boy.
Yeah, certified pod boy.
The dichotomy of that. Oh my god.
Yeah. Hello, Helix Pinnacle is on the call.
Trev doesn't have a background. Instead, what you see is like it's a black screen with the same like kind of electric blue like things that are on his face.
Oh, like his pixels?
His pixels. So his face pixels just take up the majority of the thing.
Oh,
and
like
it's a
in a
black
sci-fi
background.
where you're like, this is the computer I'm talking to and this is our
Yes.
whole face. That's his
Yeah.
camera.
Yes.
Perfect.
You could see that Wolt is just taking the call from his bed, which is beside a window, so he can smoke a death stick while he's on the call.
You can kind of see a little flashes of the LED in the back, lights in the
Yeah.
background. It kind of changes color on his face. Sometimes it makes him look blurrier than he is.
Pretty moody. He's not really watching the call. He's just kind of staring off outside into the mid distance.
he's a little angsty right now.
And Maeve's camera is at a weird angle, like she's technically in the frame, but it's like it's looking up at her from a really low angle and kind of off on one side. And it's she's muted and she's not looking at the screen. She's got kind of like a placid look on her face. It maybe looks like she's meditating with the arborist, like she's in some sort of a meditation thing, and just has the call on in her lap and is trying to like covertly keep an eye on the conversation.
Oh my god, that's very good. And I think Chloe's background is there's like a big Wilkie's W in the background, and you can like see strategically placed on her desk there's like a hand reverently holding up a wrapped candy, and there's a little case of panic energy drink arranged in like a pyramid, very much cultivated video call background. And she says, "Thank you so much for agreeing to meet with me, Goldstar Disaster. I'm very excited to present this thrilling opportunity for you to collaborate with Wilkie's and Scramcat."
Yeah, we're very excited for this as well.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that we're all so excited about this opportunity.
Maeve's one eye cracks open and she like looks down at the frame and then thumbs up just like raises into the frame and then back out, and then she goes back to meditating.
So we have been working towards a collaboration that is very exciting. We are releasing an exclusive flavor of Panic Energy drink in cooperation with Scramcat, Scramcat's Cran Slam. And the only way to get Cran Slam is to compete in their brand new obstacle course, the Scramcat Kitty Cat Hover Track. So as part of our marketing strategy, Wilkies and Scramcat have decided to get our respective crews to be the first to compete in the course and put your names on the leaderboard, giving you a spot in history as the first to take on the course, the first to enjoy the intense, delicious flavor of Scramcat's Cran Slam, and it also gives the opportunity for others to compete against you. You set the benchmark.
Thank you very much for including us in this amazing opportunity. We will do the Wilkies brand proud. Of course, please upload all of the contracts into Trev's Dropbox account.
Yeah, let me just get on there right now. Boop, and they're in your hard drive instantly.
I have received them. Also, Chloe, I must note, are you feeling well? It seems like you are about to faint at any moment.
I'm having the time of my life. Working at Wilkies is absolutely my dream job, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
It just seems that your blood sugar might be very low at this moment.
On the contrary,
Yeah.
Mr. Wilkie gives all of us our specially rationed glucose pods that ensures our blood sugar. It gives us optimal performance here at Wilkie's Candy Corporation.
Indeed.
Where exactly is the Kitty Cat Crash Course?
The Kitty Cat Hover Track, that's in Trev 4's contracts. Please ensure that you are saying the correct name of the Scramcat Kitty Cat Hover Track at all times, as well as Wilkies and Scramcat present Scramcat's Cran Slam.
Wilkies presents Cran Slam Crack Can. Sorry, what dimension is this in, is what I was asking.
We will be going to the beautiful dimension of Popularia.
Maeve, in the frame, like, her mouth has been mouthing like Thenispartian words, some sort of a mantra. But then if you're paying close attention and can read lips, you can see that it has now changed to Scramcat Kitty Cat Hover Track. Scramcat Kitty Cat Hover Track. Scramcat Kitty Cat Hover Track.
All right, we'll be there.
Awesome. Get ready for these commercials to hit the screens. We're going to take Operablum and the larger multiverse by storm. See you in Popularia. Boop. And Chloe just instantly leaves the call, leaving all of you in the call together.
Heck yeah, team. This seems like the kind of thing real crews do's.
Did you get all that, Maeve?
The call unmutes for a sec, and the one eye cracks open and looks down at the screen again and is like, yeah, do we know who the other crew is? We're the Wilkies crew. Who's the Scramcat crew?
Trev, it's in the contracts. Who is it again?
Yes, it is BRB, who will be joining us on the Scramcat Kitty Cat Hover Track.
Well, that'll sure raise the stakes after the last video they posted of... I'm sure it'll go fine.
Maeve's like, yeah, I was really hoping that they'd, send out some rookies that they'd just signed on, but I guess they're sending their A-team. Okay.
This is the big leagues, Maeve. This is what you wanted, isn't it?
No, you're right. It is. I just, listen, gang, we really got to win this one. I didn't mean to get into that thing with K-Jump back in Thenispar, but, they've won the most recent point, and we really need to bring this one home if we're going to get taken seriously.
Do not worry, Maeveline. We'll easily handle the Scramcat Kitty Cat Hover Track in no time flat. Because the Scramcat Kitty Cat Hover Track is our specialty.
With that, let us now go to the dimension of Popularia. But before we do...
Oh.
Some of us have important business we need to take care of. Helix, Pinnacle, for your work with the Pinnacle Project. Can I get a D6 roll, please?
And what do I have to beat again this time?
You have to beat a 4, so I hope you roll a 5 or a 6.
Not even worried. 2.
So, by our rules, that means that you are going to start this run with a slam. It also means your slam counter resets back to 1. So the next time we make this roll, all you have to roll is a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. That roll would have helped if it was one run later. I think you get another stint of going down into the fog.
Mm-hmm.
Same sort of deal, trying not to get accosted this time, but actually trying to get down deeper into the fog to get more detailed readings.
Mm-hmm.
Even since the last time you were down there, the fog went up to 159. Now it's kind of creeping around the 1.6 level.
Mm-hmm.
So the fog has even come up again. And as you go down, you notice two things of note that you passed along to the Pinnacle project. The first is that you felt pretty overwhelmed by the fog pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you pushed on as far as you could, thinking you could go farther, or whether you called it as soon as you started to feel the effects of that, I think is up to you. Mm-hmm. The second thing that you noticed is that you had your improved diagnostic tools to sort of help you get readings of the fog. That confirmed that the fog seems extra saturated right now, and the altitude readers in your diagnostic tools were all over the place. You could not get a consistent reading. You had a real rough time down there. By the time they pulled you up, that fog had really settled in. Any typical Operablin, Labeling, would have had a much worse time and probably would have had to do some extended hospitalization business. We are going to give you a fogged slam. And with that, we now go to the dimension of Popularia. A treagle, which is like an eagle if it were plant-based, soars across the sunny sky, the wind under its wings producing the sound of rustling leaves. It lets out a piercing pine needle cry that echoes immaculately off the picturesque mountain ranges in Popularia. These mountains are perfectly mountain-shaped, molded from silvery lavender earth and dusted with an iridescent blanket of snow that smells like hot chocolate powder. At first, it looks like the wind is kicking up the snow into swirling rainbow patterns, but the patterns are actually wisps of space-time slush, just barely visible at this altitude. Towering coniferous trees cluster in big, friendly groups, laden with pitch-black needles coated with snow. It's cold, but just the right amount of cold that puts color in one's cheeks and reveals misty breath without creeping under winter wear and biting at fingers and toes. Goldstar Disaster. You are stationed high on one of these perfect mountains, staring down an expansive slope strategically dotted with everblack trees. BRB is also here. The 5 of them are currently circled up and doing coordinated stretches, each of them wearing matching neon winter gear with patented Scramcat speed stripes. Their sponsor rep is with them. He introduced himself as Drew, and you've only known him for 10 minutes, but he's already thrown out a hang loose sign on 4 separate occasions. Chloe is also here, wearing a web-issue white cold suit that looks far too thin to be well insulated, and yet she seems completely unbothered by the chill in the air. Welcome, Goldstar Disaster. I'm so happy to see that you made it safely to Popularia, but I didn't have any doubt.
Can we go around and describe what everyone's winter gear looks like?
Yes, please.
I could start. Maeve, being from Thenispar and then Operablum, has never had to deal with cold weather or snow in her entire life. So she's one of those people who's like, her winter gear is just too many layers of her regular clothing kind of thing. Because she's still got to have her arborist jacket. That's her signature. So she's got like 3 sweaters on underneath that and 2 pairs of pants and like extra socks over her socks. And maybe it looks like she's got cool fingerless gloves because she's, you know, a Slugblaster and counterculture and she needs her hands to be able to operate her jacket. But if you were to look closer, those are socks that she's cut 5 little holes into.
Oh boy.
Wolt is wearing his standard base layers, but instead of accentuating it with a blazer, he has a long pea coat, but it seems to be made out of leather. It's like, it's not a trench coat. It's clearly a pea coat, but it's like a weird material combo. He also has on what appear to be almost like digital earmuffs that go around the back of his head, as well as a scarf that is similarly segmented in the way that his tie typically is.
Yep, very good.
But dangling from his waist is his Daibo vice. His Daibokin partner is nowhere to be seen, and he stares off into the distance, smoking wistfully.
Trev 4 does not have anything particularly different because he doesn't need like winter gear per se. However, he did update his display of his face or whatever, where his eyes are now replaced with like snowflakes. They're snowflake shaped. It does show that he is losing power because it is slowly draining
so
his
much
battery.
more, yeah.
Is there an active like battery life thing on there as well in the display?
It's not actually really updating to be a stylistic thing. It's actually warning like, oh, this is bad cold for machine.
Is Trev 4 wearing a toque purely for the vibe?
I was imagining it would be a scarf around.
A single scarf. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And Helix is wearing a fairly utilitarian jumpsuit like he always wears, but instead of it being, the sort of purple that it normally is, it's the purple it normally is, but puffier. It's just an insulated utilitarian jumpsuit. That's not what's remarkable. He is wearing a full balaclava with just the mouth and the eyes sticking out. And as soon as somebody questions him, he's like, I'd rather not take off the balaclava if that's possible. The goings-ons at the Pinnacle project have left something of a toll.
Well, that may be a bit of a problem because this entire event is going to be televised, and people will want to see the beautiful faces of Goldstar Disaster.
Okay, and he lifts up his balaclava, and he's kind of got like his whole face is slightly puffy everywhere, and is kind of like a gaunt yellow color, kind of like halfway between, like in terms of the puffiness, much like his jacket, it's puffy. Sort of halfway between like someone who just got Botox and someone with a peanut allergy who's like eating something they're not supposed to. Like his whole face is just a little bit like puffy. He's like, oh, okay, hopefully you can edit this out in post.
Makeup.
Looks great, Helix. It's a nice complementary color to the jumpsuit. That's all the best she can do.
And yeah, sorry, it's just because I've been doing some stuff with the Pinnacle project. I got to wear the balaclava, and he basically just repeats himself. Yeah, and everyone's like, "Yeah, no, man, you just said that." All of this to say, he is fogged. He has taken that slam of fogged.
Yeah.
His brain is a little slower than usual, and his skin doesn't look very good. But he basically does the same scene again, unprompted.
Man, good thing you're not the smarts playbook. Oh no!
Whoa!
Helix, you look great, considering how close to death you look.
Thanks, Trev.
An assistant, maybe they're wearing all black, a ball cap under a toque, comes up to you, Helix, and starts applying powder to your face. It's all they have, and it does absolutely nothing.
Looks like his face is eating the powder. How is that possible? As Helix is going through wardrobe, Maeve kind of sidles up to Walt and sort of pulls him aside a little bit and is like, "Hey, how you feeling? I know you sent us all that message, and well, everything with Carcinic, Scampy. I just, you ready for this?"
Wish the trees didn't smell so much like licorice. Blends really weird with the smoke.
Yeah, you're ready for this. We're good. This is gonna go just plesta.
I'm glad that you're still here, Maeve.
Yeah, of course. Listen, Walt, we all understand, like, you keeping the coil is not a good thing, but we get it. It was for Carcinican. That's you had to do what you had to do. Just next time, I hope you trust us enough to tell us the reason instead of trying to hide it.
I know, I just thought I'd come so far, but still struggle with doing things on my own terms.
If I remember right, the thing you struggled with most was feeling like you belonged on this slug blasting crew, and I'm here to tell you that you do. We got your back. Even when things get rough, we'll be here for you. We'll stand by your decisions. You just got to let us in. And she kind of reaches over and gives the hand that's not holding a death stick a squeeze.
Walt throws his death stick down, sort of like squashes out in a snowbank and says, well, let's show him what Goldstar Disaster's made of.
Vux, yeah. And she claps him on the back a little too hard.
All right, everyone, gather round, gather round. Let's break down the rules of the Scramcat hover track. And Drew throws out a hang loose sign as he's calling out to all of you. He and Chloe are kind of standing at what you see to be the starting line. I think it's maybe like a bright red line that has been like kind of painted in the snow. You're sort of between two so pointy, perfectly triangular mountains, staring down this big slope. Ahead of you, there are two sort of like rock formations, and then sort of beyond them you can kind of see some trees, and they sort of break down how this is going to go. So what you see before you is the Scramcat Kitty Cat hover track, which is broken down into 3 sections with 3 checkpoints. Yeah, and you're going to be graded on each of these checkpoints according to 3 criteria: control, flair, speed. If you get a good score in all 3 criteria, you will place on the leaderboard. But you don't need to worry about that because the leaderboard is currently empty, soon to be filled with the names of all of you fine Slugblasters. And she gestures in an extremely rehearsed way to the 4 of you in Goldstar Disaster and the 5 members of BRB. So, of course, you do want to score high. You want to set a good example, but it's not like you need to compete against each other or anything. There's more than enough spots on the leaderboard. That's right, all you need to do is have fun out there. And she does the most half-hearted arm pump you've ever seen. Any questions?
Yes. Chloe, have you eaten today? It seems like you need to have more sugar in you right now.
I can assure you I have more than enough sugar in me currently. It makes up 90% of my diet as a faithful, jubilant employee of Wilkie's Candy Corporation.
Maeve's got 2 hands up.
Question, over there.
Yeah, so just to be clear, this is a collab. We're all working together to complete the course, but we are going to be recording who completes each one the best. Like, we are being ranked.
Oh yeah, the leaderboard absolutely has a ranking, but you will all be placed on the leaderboard.
Yeah, but in an order. And the top of the order is who did the best?
By the rules of the track, the Kitty Cat hover track, absolutely. And you see BRB is like giving you all looks like, oh yeah, we're coming for you. With varying degrees of like severity on a scale from Whiplash to Tybalt.
What does K-Jump look like? Maeve looks at K-Jump.
Oh, I think K-Jump is dead in the middle.
Okay.
Like, ready to have just like such a great time, but she's gonna crush you, you know?
Maeve is shook. Normally she wouldn't be, but after their last encounter and the embarrassment of getting saved by K-Jump, she's like, yeah, K-Jump's in her head.
So remind me, we got Whiplash, K-Jump, Tybalt.
And then you have 2 others that tend not to come up very often because it's hard to play more than 5 or more than 3 NPCs at once. But Bez and Zenly.
Bez.
Bez is wearing giant noise-canceling earmuffs, and I believe their hover skates are red. And Zenly has pink hover skates, very much like K-Jump. And she's got a visor across her head and like a very stylish toque with pom-pom. And sticking out of the toque are holographic kitty cat ears that are being projected by the hyperoptic visor.
I have another question.
Yes. I'm here to answer your questions.
Is the Scramcat Kitty Cat hover track race a team versus team, or are we racing individually?
Well, each of you is going to have your own esteemed spot on the Scramcat Kitty Cat leaderboard.
Oh, careful there.
Hang on. I'm okay. But of course, because you each have your own individual spots, you can choose to compete as individually or team-based. And she gestures really broadly to everyone and kind of gives you a look that she thinks is like, isn't this a great joke I told? But all of you can't help but interpret it as, please help me, that you want it to be.
My question involves the 3 legs. Can you describe some of the obstacles we will encounter on each of these 3 legs?
Each leg of the Scramcat Kitty Cat hover track is specialized to bring out your skills in control for the first leg, flair for the second, speed for the third.
Excellent. I was concerned we had to show off each attribute over 3 legs.
I mean, you can try, but it's certainly easier to emphasize one over the others. I guess it just depends on how extreme of a Slugblaster you are. And he throws out another hang loose on extreme.
Gridge, thank you.
All right, if there aren't any other questions, let's get you all on the starting line. So you are now all lined up. BRB is sort of lined up all together, and then you sort of continue the line with the 4 of you. From where you are, it's a little bit difficult to see how this first leg of the course is shaping up. Like I said, there are those 2 sort of rock formations out in front of you, and it looks like you can either go in between them, and it looks like it might go up, and then, or you can go along the outsides where you can kind of see some of these trees poking out above the rock formations. So, there are 3 checkpoints to this track. I will accept individual rolls or team rolls, however you want to sort of tackle each leg of this. Every time there is a roll, I am going to roll a straight d6 for one member of BRB to see how they do. And by the end, I will do wizard math and have scores to put on the leaderboard.
Sick.
Chloe says, "Everybody, get ready!" You can barely hear her. Drew, booming voice, 3, 2, 1! And both of them raise their hands up and sound off dual air horns. As Drew mentioned, each leg of the track focuses on a specific Slugblaster skill. You're currently in the control section, so you need to demonstrate that you can control your descent through this area. So your roll is basically going to see how well your control is. You can also add flair or speed. You can incorporate those in whatever you decide to do. You can do this by spending more resources or doing a trick.
As these air horns sound off, Maeve kind of darts her eyes back and forth to each member of her crew, like, ready? We talked about this. And then as the moment that the air horns sound, she's going to use flash patterns on her jacket. Roll to blind, daze, confuse, and trance, or cause seizures in targets that can see your jacket. So she wants to just let off a burst of light that will hopefully momentarily blind the members of BRB. Just like not to do lasting damage, but just to throw them off their game so that we can get a head start.
Is Maeve maybe in the middle? Like it's all of BRB and then Goldstar Disaster and Maeve is the first person, so you're like next to King Jump, maybe?
Exactly, yeah.
Nice.
But we have planned this in advance and everyone knows to like not look directly at Maeve at this moment.
Even if we hadn't, Helix's eyes are almost entirely puffed over.
Perfect. So I would love to roll for that. And I'm going to use my ability Patient. When you reveal how you've been waiting to act, get +1 d6 or +1 kick on your action.
Fantastic.
I will also mark a d6 for my jacket. So with the Patient, that's going to be 3d6 that I'm rolling off the bat here. Yeah, rolling with 3d6. We got a 1, we got a 4, and we got a 6.
A 6 is a complete success. You blind the members of BRB and throw them off as soon as the race starts.
Maeve lets out this pulse. I think it's like a sort of it strobes out of her jacket as she rockets forward, almost like it's part of the acceleration, but clearly also meant to have this negative effect on BRB, and she sort of motions for her crew to all follow, and we take off down the center.
Amazing. You're going sort of between the rock formations?
Maeve is. I won't speak for everyone, but that's sort of, she's kicked things off and she's heading between the formations.
Sweet. To pay this off, what I'm going to do is when it comes to my roll for BRB, I'm going to roll 2d6 and take the lower result.
Vux, yeah.
If we're going between the two rock formations, Helix is not far behind you. He's turned his hard light board into the shape of a snowboard, so it's nice and long and wide. And he starts sort of doing the slalom motion, the back and forth as he goes. But with each sort of swing up and down the sine wave that he's making through the slalom, it gets wider and wider until it looks like if he goes out any wider, he's going to crash into these rock formations. And that's part of the trick. Check it. And is going to use my... I haven't actually got to use this, but I've added the Nega Friction outsoles normally associated with the skip mode runners to the bottom of the hoverboard, and he is basically going to slalom up the wall and then down again, and then up the wall and then down again of this rock formation that he's snowboarding between.
I love this. This is great. As you're moving between the rock formations, Helix and Maeve and anyone else who is going between them, you find that it's ramping up and you can sort of see everything sort of out around you. You see these trees. They are very sparse, almost like very strategically planted to be in very specific distances from each other. And you are sort of coming up onto a plateau that you are then going to ramp off of. And this jump is going to be in amongst the trees, so the landing has to be really careful.
Sure.
So as you're going up and along these plateaus, creating sort of a makeshift half pipe for yourself, and you're approaching this jump, do you want to go faster as a result of this maneuver, or do you want to look super cool?
Look super cool. I mean, control is the main thing, the fact that he can control himself up and down these walls. But I think he wants to look super cool. That's why he's doing a trick about it. And I'd like to invoke lateral thinking. When you try a trick with a creative approach, Mark 1 style, even on a failed roll, I think going up a wall is literally lateral thinking. So this is amazing. This fresh powder's incredible. And because the makeup didn't work, I think he's just wearing a Wilkie's balaclava now.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He just traded in it. So it's just there's a purple W on the back of his head.
And adding any resources?
I will add a attitude D6 because I'm using lateral thinking. So I'll pull it from the playbook, not the device. 2D6. 6.
All right. You are going to look hella slick going on this half pipe and firing off onto the slope, and I will say that you land safely.
Right on. That was great. Just feeling good, guys. How's everybody else doing? And he turns around to look back and see what the other two are up to.
Trev's rocket knees engage, and he's got the hover thing on his chest, so he's able to keep pretty low to the ground. But now that he's on snow, he can actually use his hands to touch the powder and everything like that to help turn it sharper.
Yeah.
Stuff that he can't normally do on hard ground or whatever. He's using that. He's engaging with his omniscience aperture to kind of read all these different rock formations. He is doing it to calculate getting as close as he can to the rock formation to really do really tight turns and all that kind of thing to make it look as controlled as possible. And I'm going to use an extra die from my visor.
So you're weaving through the rock formations. You're also weaving through the trees, maybe more along the outside of the track kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to go as quick as possible. And these tight turns will help me do that, right?
Totally.
And I think that there's one at one point that you probably shouldn't do it, especially if you were on a board. But there's maybe a couple of trees that are pretty close together that prevents you from cutting off some more time. But I'm going to actually go between these two trees, so it's just wide enough for me as a person.
Nice,
to skim through.
You're flying with your you're laying down on your chest, but then for this you have to go up on your side for a sec.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
and, in that moment, turn off the hover thing.
Yeah.
So maintain it. So it's going to be a very specific kind of trick. And check it. I'm going to master the Scramcat Kitty Cat hover track. And, extra die from my visor. And, heck, why not 1 for my attitude as well?
So you are rolling with 3d6, it sounds like, and focusing on control with a little trick to help boost your speed.
Yeah, that's right.
Sick.
3, 5, and a 6.
You are able to expertly weave through these trees. Your control is immaculate. Let me describe the map a little bit, because I made a map. For my own brain and purposes. You would have seen this in the commercial as the camera pans over the entirety of the obstacle course. You are actually in the part of the obstacle course that looks like the head of a kitty cat. You started at the top of the head. The 2 triangular mountains were the ears. You're going past these rock formations that are the eyes. Maeve, Helix, Wold, you have ramped off of the nose, and Trev is currently weaving his way through the whiskers.
Very good.
I think with this leg of the track being the one focused on control, there's an aspect to this where Wolt is sort of exhibiting that chill zen where he's incredibly in control of the situation, but it doesn't look like he's exerting effort to make it through this portion of the course. He's just very... He has a very lax pose upon his board as he drifts back and forth between obstacles, making his way toward the jump. And I think he's just like, he's been on edge a lot lately. As he goes off the jump into the air, he's going to pull out a death stick and light it. Again, very absentmindedly, just kind of living by his vices, but it looks cool as hell in midair for no reason.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Does this count as a trick?
Yeah, you could check it out, probably.
Okay, great. It will look cool as hell, especially if you land this properly.
Big if.
Yeah.
I guess for this roll, the chill always starts off with 2d6. I think I want to take a dare to add a 3rd. And could I possibly use one of the hype die?
Yeah.
Cool. So we roll in 4d6 on this unintended trick.
Trouble, bite, or problem.
Oh, right. Trouble for that.
Alrighty, you are taking a trouble.
So it's a 3 I got, but it's a 3 with a 1 and a pair of 2s, so there's still style on that.
There's still some mark a style. Because here's what it is. You lighting the death stick does look super cool, and if you clip it to like 2 seconds before what's gonna happen next, it's a sick shot. But then I think you just crash headfirst into a tree, George of the Jungle style, and are like tumbling down. The tree is like shaking, and all the snow is piling on top of you as you're going down. And I'm gonna give you the slam of George of the Jungle.
Maeve wants to nope it.
Maeve is noping!
Yeah. I think she sees Walt, doing his casual, lighting his death stick, going off the edge, and like, where he's being very laid back about it, she sees the arc and is like, that's not gonna work. He needs
to watch out for that tree.
Yeah, he needs to watch out for that tree. And so she sort of gets low on her board, increases her own speed, and tries to like take the jump and also kind of cut him off and basically tackle him to one side so that we will both miss the tree.
Very good. Yeah, so then I think in that case, you don't just fully slam into this tree. It is not a pretty landing. You both very much like tumble together through the snow, but it is very soft and powdery snow, so you're not going to take any serious hits from it, but maybe you are going to mark 2 trouble.
Can do.
Sorry, Maeve. Thank you. I get my head in the game. Get my head in the game.
Easy. It's just the first leg. We got time.
All right. With that, I am going to make a roll for how BRB largely does in this leg, in the control leg. They were all like in formation. Each of them had like a pose that was individualized to them, but like matched and was cohesive with all of BRB. And then they like all tensed. And then as soon as the air horns went off and Maeve set off her flash patterns, BRB was like, oh God, oh no. Okay, form up. And it took them several seconds to sort of get it together, but then they all sort of took off information. So I'm going to roll 2d6 straight up. I am taking the lower results to see generally how folks do. I rolled a 3 and a 1. They are blinking the spots out of their eyes. It does not help that the snow is this iridescent pink and green and yellow that reflects the light in beautiful ways. So they cannot tell what is snow and what is spots in their eyes. I think one of them just fully crashes into one of the rock formation kitty cat eyes.
Bez, no!
They're all like, oh, center, there's no trees here, center. So they all make their way down the center, and then they don't quite have the depth perception to realize that they're ramping off, so they don't build up enough speed to be able to jump properly, and they all kind of tumble pathetically down like the jowls of the kitty cat. You can hear some of them getting a little bit upset. You can hear Whiplash going like, come on, guys, form up, let's go. And something's like, we can do it, gang! Keep it together! And all four of you very much are in this next leg of the track before they are. Hello there, Goldstar listeners. It's me, Laena, your Slugblaster Game Blaster. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Quantum Kickflip. We absolutely love doing this show for you, and we absolutely love hearing from you. Whether it's chatting us up in the Wilkie's Candy Lab Discord, or leaving a review for us, or recommending our show to a friend, it really makes our day. You can support us by following us at Quantum Kickflip on social media, where we post new episode updates, audiograms, and more. You can also support us by subscribing to Quantum Kickflip on Patreon. For just $2 a month, you can join the Shredder tier and get access to all new episodes of Quantum Kickflip 2 days early, or for just $5 a month, you get early access plus exclusive bi-weekly bonus content, including interviews, outtakes, and more. If you want to learn more about how the music gets made, what the inspiration is behind that, Robyn has some behind-the-scenes featurettes about how he composes the music. If you want to hear me breaking down the inspiration behind some of the runs that I've designed, then our Patreon is the place for you. Head to patreon.com/quantumkickflip and subscribe today. I'd like to thank our sponsors at the Alberta Media Arts Alliance Society, whose goal is to advocate, educate, and celebrate the media arts in Alberta. You can learn more about them at amaas.ca. We release Quantum Kickflip bi-weekly, so you can catch the next chapter of the Popularia run on Wednesday, February 21st. Let's get you back to the action. So as you move out of the control portion of the hover track and into the flare portion, the mountain ranges around you, they were sort of like rounded out and pretty broad, to make the chubby cheeks of the kitty cat. And they sort of narrow in on either side of you, sort of funneling you into this channel. There are sort of cliff ridges on either side, and the snow in this particular area has pooled in just such a way that it's like you're traveling down a long, winding half pipe. You've got the silvery lavender of the mountain, you've got the glittering pinks and greens of the snow, and in amongst this you see dotted along the mountain ranges little bright orange devices that you realize are cameras placed there by Scramcat. They call them Scramcams, because of course they do. And it looks like they are set in such a way that they are sort of pointed towards an especially gorgeous mountain backdrop for a cool trick as you take up the frame. But of course you have to make sure you have enough air to get in frame. So there are quite a few of these cameras dotted along this long pathway. So you got lots of opportunities to look real slick. What do you do?
Trev is barreling down and heading towards the side of the half pipe. He's going to do a series of tricks. I'm going to roll first, and then you can decide, especially if I fail, what happened to me.
Okay.
But I'm going to use a die for my attitude.
Okay.
I'm actually going to use another from my turbo as well.
Sure. So you got 3d6.
Attention, scram cat, kitty cat, hover track. Check it. And a 2, a 3, and a 6.
A 6. Okay, you are able to pull off your tricks, my friend.
So Trev is still trying to maintain as much speed as possible, but as he ramps up the one side of the half pipe, he undoes the rocket knees for a second and turns into like a spinning pirouette into the air, and then turns back into form, back into the rocket knees, and starts racing back down onto the half pipe. Goes over to the other side, same kind of thing. Unfolds the knees and does like a backflip that turns and rotates back down, rushes down, and he's just doing all of these like weird combination of gymnastics poses and moves.
I'm picturing the combination of like a transformer turning from like a car to a robot and a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And there are one of the things he does try to do is always like when he is passing by one of the scramras, is that he makes his head be always facing the camera, and so that he's smiling.
The like display always like whips around.
Despite where his body is, his head is still always upright and like looking dead into the camera always.
Ooh, can I make an offer for you? Because I can't do it.
Sure.
The last camera you go by, you reach out and just plunk a gold star right onto the lens, so it like fills the screen.
Yeah, you can see the outline of of the sticker. Yeah.
Oh, very good. I love this.
So that's another style.
That is another style. You get to refill your attitude because you succeeded.
Yes.
Trev 4 is doing very well. Goldstar Disaster in general is doing very well, and it is at this point that I want to spend a bite.
Oh no.
BRB is forming up. Whiplash and Zenly are both sort of hyping up the crew the best ways that they can. K-Jump spins around. She's got her Voidware backpack in hand and she's holding it closed. She sticks her elbows out, and the other 4 members of BRB kind of flank her and they join up to make kind of a chain. She opens up her Voidware backpack and immediately just this like burst of momentum, force, energy just like fires out of it, like a cool beam. She's firing beams. She shoots backwards, plummeting straight down this half pipe. The rest of BRB kind of takes this momentum and rides it for a bit, but then they all break off, and all 4 of them, real slick, go to different cameras and start doing their tricks. K-Jump is basically sacrificing flare to help her teammates and shoot her down the track as fast as possible. This kicks up a bunch of snow. And so to make it through here with enough flare, I need a kick for every roll in this section.
Oh, because the snow is blocking the cameras?
Yeah.
Your blinding move is a great choice, Maeve, but it looks like they, served it right back to us.
Hearing this gives Maeve an idea, because that is true. They've basically turned it around on us. But she realizes that, she's wearing a jacket that can flash bright colors and do cool stuff. So I'm going to roll to do some tricks on this half pipe as well. But I want to use that same ability, flash patterns, only this time not a strobe of light to blind enemies, but just like bright flashy colors going off to cut through the snow so that you can see me on camera.
Ooh.
I'm like I've got like a glowing aura around me.
That rules. Let's get a roll.
So I am going to use that ability. That's mostly just for flavor. I'm going to mark a kick for my jacket because that's what's required of me. I will mark my jacket's remaining D6 as well. Can I want to do, this is all about tricks, so I'm doing a trick here.
Yeah.
If I mark an extra kick, can I get extra style?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. I'll mark another kick off my jacket. And I am going to also mark a D6 from my attitude to put me at 3. And the way that my grit is playing into this is I think I see that it's K-Jump specifically that pulled this maneuver, and that gets to Maeve, and her resolve has never been stronger. She needs to ace this section and look as cool as possible doing it. So that's how the grit is coming into play. It's her focus, her determination. Rolling with 3d6 and 2 kick. We got a 3. We got a 5. And we got a 6.
Oh, those 6s, baby.
They keep
Let's
coming.
go.
So yes, Maeve engages the flash patterns once again. She is surrounded by a glowing golden aura of light, making her like a beacon that shines through this snow. She does all the coolest tricks that I definitely know. She's going up off this half pipe, and she's doing grabs, and she's doing spins of varying degrees, multiples of 180 even.
I want 3 trick names, please.
Okay, and these are Thenispartian tricks, so you may not have heard of them because they're from the Thenispartian slug blasting scene.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
But she does a half Larsham, obviously.
Of course.
Is that where you make your legs spin?
You spin around like a Larsham's legs do. Yeah. It's like a flip, like a front flip thing with a grab involved. She does a 3-handed everything grab.
Nose, tail, extra.
Yeah. And finally, she completes the set with a full Larsham.
Whoa! All right, leave them wanting more and then deliver. I love this.
So I get 2 style for that, do I?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Helix is sliding down the mountain, and he catches Walt out of the corner of his eye coming up behind him. And he looks over at Walt. Well, they've got this little bit of clear track before the half pipe. Walt, where's Scampykin? Where's your Daibokin? I got to imagine. I mean, snow is just frozen water. I feel like he'd be right at home in this.
Probably, I don't know. I just don't want anything to happen to him. Besides, I need to show that I can contribute to Goldstar Disaster. Me, as a hoverboarder. And with that, I think Walt kind of leans in to the descent. And then starts making his approach up one side toward the first scram cam.
Tybalt sort of comes down as you're approaching the one that he's doing. And maybe you've seen Tybalt before and you know him to be just like a super laid back guy. He is wearing a shirt. His jacket is open, so that's still flapping about. And you're used to him having kind of a doofy look on his face, but as you pass him, he just kind of he looks very stony. And he whips past you maybe a little closer than you would want him to be for comfort.
Stony, not stoned, as he usually would.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, to be honest with you.
Just double checking, that's he's coming back down after hitting his pose on the first cam?
Yeah.
I think Walt is going to immediately just give up on making it up to the first one.
Oh.
He's going to crank his direction to follow closely behind Tybalt. And my ploy here, I think, is Walt wants to show up in the background of each one of Tybalt's picks. And he wants to pull out his zero beam pistols, and he wants to fire little holes through his shirt as it ripples in each one of the shots.
Not the shirt.
Yeah.
Woldton, Wick.
He's not wearing it to keep warm or anything.
It is for the vibe, you're right, but that shirt has Scramcat speed stripes on it.
All right, so for this, the chill starts off with the 2d6. To get a kick, I think I'm going to have to take a dare for that. You want to bite?
I want to bite.
Okay.
So interesting that you're not using the resources provided to you by your signature device.
You kind of got to use the device to do that, unfortunately. Scampykin inside the board just goes, but you can't hear him.
The GM can, and that's what matters.
I do think on this one, I want to invoke an ability that I just got. Sacrifice your body. Take a slam to get plus 2d6 to your action. Slam can't be noped or avoided in any way. Yet another pair of 2s, but this time the high roll is a 6.
Oh, thank goodness. You actually succeed on this. Okay. So you mark a style for Steezy. I think your slam for sacrifice your body is going to be an emotional slam. Because it really does seem like Tybalt has you a little bit distracted and kind of doing things almost more to him than for yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna give you, it's like the emotion I'm sort of looking for is like a little resentful, a little competitive. I don't know if jealous is quite right, you know what I mean?
It's pretty unchill.
It's pretty unchill. No chill.
No chill.
No chill.
I appreciate how this kind of became less of a sacrifice your body, more of a sacrifice your soul.
Oh yeah, I guess.
No chill slime. Good thing you're not the chill player.
Oh
All right. Maybe what we'll do is I'm gonna tell you the tricks that Tybalt is doing, and you can tell me how you vux it up. So I think for the first one, his hover skates look a little bit more heavy duty compared to the others. And as he ramps up to the next one, he actually changes his mass a little bit and like goes up really quick, and then it's like he's moving in slow motion as he's doing a cool roller skating trick, a lemon 360. It's one leg go back, one leg go forward, and the arms are doing stuff, and it looks cool. Except...
I think, yeah, with the one leg forward, one leg back, you can see in the bottom of the frame between the legs, Wolt is in the background there. And you also, then there is a clear single hole in part of the shirt flapping out underneath his right arm.
Very good. He lands and goes to the other camera. I don't think he's clocked that you're behind him quite yet. He activates his own inertial vortex, and both of you actually rocket towards this camera really, really quickly. And as he gets air, he starts doing like a little Running Man situation.
Because it's slowed down enough, Wolt actually manages to mirror the run in the background. It almost looks like he's running to catch up with him somehow. The perspective's real weird, but there's a second hole that appears in the shirt.
And then on the last one, he starts kind of weaving a little bit because he sees that you're in his wake and it's bugging him. He goes up, flips upside down, and then activates his stasis anchor, which just fully freezes his kinetic deck. And he sort of is just like upside down, hanging, arms crossed. He's doing cool poses. His jacket kind of flaps out behind him, and it's like kind of a Swiss cheese situation.
I think this one, since he has stopped, Wolt's actually right behind him, kind of peeking over his shoulder, and you can see through this third hole Wolt's zero beam pistol on the other side of the shirt.
Oh, very good. He actually turns, and on camera, he's looking at you, he's like, "Hey man, what? Cut it out." And then I think you go down and do like a really slick landing while he's still hanging, and he's now distracted, so he deactivates his stasis anchor, but he can't land it smoothly. He just kind of has to try and be on his feet. You really thrown him for a loop here.
Walt, that was so good. You're crushing it. Helix is bringing up the kind of back of the pack here. He can see the snow is kicked up. He knows he's going to really have to make a splash on these scram cams to make an impact. I want to take this opportunity to remind our listeners of sort of how Helix's board works, the hard light board, how I imagined it. So it's like a disc that's maybe a little over a foot in diameter. It normally just kind of sits on his forearm when he's not using it. And then when it's time to skate, it separates into two semicircles with hard light between it to make the shape of a skateboard. Or he makes it longer, it's a snowboard. Or he makes it wider, it's a surfboard. Or he gives it a weird little flappity tail and it's one of those kind of fish-shaped skateboards from the 70s, right? What have you. So that's sort of how it works. And then anytime he's doing other things, he's got these sort of two half semicircles that can extend in different directions. If you think back to any episode, the light just sort of comes out in a flat plane from these two semicircles always between them, but also beyond them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's how he's done all the things since. I just feel that's relevant for what I'm going to describe here. As he's heading down, he starts activating a lot of the changes to the board. He's going from a snowboard position, which is basically just, the two semicircles with hard light between them. Initiate, Y-axis, form of skis. And he sort of turns from being, going sideways, like one foot, his right foot in front of the left foot. He's sideways, he's snowboarding. He shifts his weight. So now both of his feet are straight forward down the mountain and the board shifts underneath him to give him two skis that are connected by a very fine bit of hard light. So they make a really narrow H. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But then it doesn't stop there. He goes, hex code FFD700, which is the hex code for gold. And he's only ever turned them actually invisible color before, but he can change the colors. And then, ready flare, 2/3 triangle. And he's readied, a further adaptation for when he hits the air. If air. Gives it an if statements when he hits the air.
Yeah.
And he is
What's
just
the then colon?
We're about to find out.
then triangle 2/3 flare extension. And he's just going to do a sick trick. I guess this is technically the energy lattice because he's rolling to reform your board into custom shapes, including tools, hand weapons, and other useful things. He's forming it into skis that also have triangles coming out the back of them.
Love it.
And turning them gold. So I'm going to do check it. A trick using my energy lattice. I'll add the kick to satisfy your snow bite and a d6 from the turbo. So I'm rolling with 2d6 and he's going to do a sick trick. And if I succeed, I'll describe what I'm going for with this triangle gold description. And if I fail, you tell me what happens. 5.
We got a mixed success. So go ahead and start describing this trick, and then I might intervene.
Yeah, so he's gone from being on a snowboard to skis, though there is a little bit of hard light connecting the skis, because that's how it has to work. And then he gets the first bit of air, and the if statement triggers, and he's kind of think of two grilled cheese sandwiches on the back 2/3 of his skis, triangle shapes.
Yeah.
And then as he gets up in front of the camera, he just does the pizza thing with the skis where he puts the two tips of the skis together. And now the triangles are sort of the B vertices of the triangles are parallel to each other, and his nose is pointed. It looks like a star. It looks like a gold star when he points his
Yeah.
some of that hard light that was between the two semicircles making the little H fills in the rest of it. It kind of doesn't fully look like a star on the bottom, but up at the top, it's definitely the top half of a star. And he just holds that pose in front of the first camera. And I think he actually does that in front of every camera, but he just sort of changes, he does it once where it's an upside down star, where his, he instead of pizzaing forward, he pizzas backwards.
Yeah, he French fries out.
Of course.
Et cetera, et cetera. And basically just does a gold star pattern in front of all of the cameras as he goes, unless.
So I think what's going to happen here is you've sort of calibrated these skis to look very cool. I think they do give you a fair bit of control as well as you're moving through this scenario. As you come down from one of the jumps, one of the members of BRB, Bez, is going up to that same jump, but they are not getting out of your way. They're not trying to move around you at all. They are in fact heading straight towards you. There's sort of a steely look in their eye. What do you do?
I'm on a crash course with Bez. We're gonna crunch
Full
into each
crash
other.
course, yeah.
And this would be some kind of crashed into Bez slam.
Possibly.
I'm actually going to then initiate the flicker switch. He goes, and maybe he would have got it faster, but he's got brain fog. He's a little foggy, so maybe he would have been on top of this quicker if he hadn't been fogged from being a variable in the days leading up to this event. But just in the nick of time, hits the flicker switch to avoid a physical slam by marking 1 turbo. You blink out of existence for a second. And just as he's about to crash into this person, flicker switch and just disappears. And then lands on the other side reappears on the other side of Bez.
Okay. I love this.
And it cost me a turbo to do this, so it didn't just get away with it.
For sure. No, but I think what ends up happening is you are so used to using your flicker switch, and I think you're sort of used to the feeling that comes with it, where it almost feels like you're being plucked out for a second, and are like flickering into, very similar to the feeling of like when you pass through a thin zone. It's like, oh, you're just not there right now. You have a little bit more awareness, I think, with flicker switch than you would if going through a thin zone, but it kind of does feel like you're in a different sort of plane to a degree. And it is in that plane that you and Bez do fully collide, because Bez did basically the exact same ability on their Rift Ninja skates. They also turned ghostly and somehow ended up in the same plane of not there as you.
Okay.
Cool.
And both of you just fully collide into each other. Now, in honoring the flicker switch, I will not give you a slam.
Sure.
You do mitigate that way, but I think both of you just sort of land in a heap because neither of you were expecting this. I think Bez maybe has a bit of a quicker recovery. They activate their anti-negative friction outsoles to sort of pull them up and get them up to the camera so that they can still do a trick. It's maybe not as nice as it could have been. They thought they were going to be so cool going right up to you, and then at the last moment dimming out, phasing out and phasing back in. But I think neither of you expected exactly what happened. So you are kind of in a heap in the middle of a half pipe. It's going to be really, really hard to get the momentum to do more tricks on the remainder of this leg of the course.
Sure. And I also just love the idea of two people crashing into each other incorporeally.
Yeah.
That's a very, like, and perhaps it does sting. Like it hurts the way it hurts to bump into someone, but instead of it being like bruises and sore teeth and maybe like a cracked bone, or whatever happens when you hit a person, it's all very metaphysical. So like all the parts that did bump into each other, what would have felt like a bruise feels like your arm is asleep.
Yeah.
And he's just like a good percentage of Helix's body, he's got to like shake it off the way you shake off like an arm that's asleep.
Yeah, pins and needles. Yeah.
What had happened? Okay. And then kicks off down the half pipe, missing the last camera or two. But just gets the speed going back up using the half pipe.
All right. It is at this point that I'm going to roll my 1d6 to see how BRB is doing. Some of them are doing better thanks to K-Jump's assistance. Some of them are doing worse because Wolt messed with them the whole time. Or they are K-Jump, who made the sacrifice to boost your teammates. So I'm going to roll 1d6, see how they do. I rolled a 6.
Oh, no.
I think, Bez is a little bit thrown. Whiplash and Zenly are crushing this part of the course. Zenly with her hyperoptic visor is sort of generating new images. It's like she's creating filters every time she goes up into a new camera, but they always just work so well with whatever is behind her in the background. And sometimes like the tone is different, and sometimes there's like, little sparkles and stuff. And she's also, pulling off excellent tricks. Like she is able to do all the spins and the clicks and the zippity-doos. I can fake skateboard. I can fake rollerblade too. I can do that too. She does a backflip chicken scratch and absolutely nails it. Whiplash, meanwhile, has activated the photon vent on her hard light skates. And so she is leaving bright blue patterns everywhere she goes. And she's kind of drawing new patterns as she goes up and into the cameras. And what she's actually doing as well is in between each shot, she's also sort of creating these patterns in the snow. And so she's sort of making not just her moments in the camera look really, really good, but also all the moments in between. She does rollerblade manuals. She does rollerblade stalls. At one point, she does a pirouette fountain, and that just looks wildly good, and makes her way down to the third leg of the course. With that, you all go into the final leg of the course. At this point, the mountain ranges on either side sort of give way, and this narrow channel that you've been navigating opens up, and you are just stunned by a breathtaking view of the mountains all around you as far as the eye can see. Just think of the most pristine mountain range you've ever seen. We've all been through mountains. We live in Western Canada. That so much more beautiful than that. And I think where you're at, there's sort of like a natural lip that sort of slows you down a little bit so that you can almost to strategically get you to stop and savor this moment. And as you're looking out at this gorgeous view, oh, look at that, it's another treagle, and it lets out another cry, and it just like rings and echoes off the mountains. Oh, it's breathtaking. You almost don't see the finish line at first, and then you look down, and what you are staring down is a extremely steep decline. It looks almost like a drop, like you're about to drop off the side of a cliff, but it is very, very steep. And you see that the snow is just like too perfect, the area is too clear, and at the bottom you can see that it curves up into a ramp. So yes, you are meant to go straight down this hill and off of this ramp. It sort of takes you over a sort of narrow chasm. And on the other side of the chasm, this is strange compared to sort of the blacks and silvers and iridescent sort of color scheme of this Popularian mountain range. You see a large square of bright red. The brightest red you can picture. And once you get close enough, you will realize that it is a swimming pool.
Full of cran slam.
Full of cran slam, and that is the finish line of the course. What do you do?
So Helix was bringing up the rear in this particular leg. Looks out before him to see all the other participants, be they BRB or Goldstar Disaster. Realizes that there's this sheer drop, and kind of as that, like you said, we slow down a little bit, gets himself a bright idea. Initiate matter photonizer, form of luge. And by initiating the matter photonizer, Mark II turbo and turn yourself and your gear into pure light. The rest of the world pauses. You can't affect the pause world, but you can observe and move around it. Time starts again after about an hour, or once you've moved. About how steep is this incline? Or sorry, not how steep. How many meters or feet?
More than 100 feet for sure.
More than 100. That's fine. I get 100 feet to the Stardust. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the world is now paused. He actually does truly take a moment. Wow, this really is a beautiful vista. The colors are breathtaking, and really complement the pool of cranberry sugar water at the base. Takes a nice deep breath of the crisp winter air. There's people in various slug blasting poses, totally frozen around him. Takes a second, kind of like continues to shake off those pins and needles, grabs his hard light board, which is now the form of like a luge board. So there's he puts his head on one of the semicircles, and the other semicircle kind of down by his knee, and then the whole thing is like a wide square between them.
Yeah.
All right, Pinnacle, you can do this. Think about the stunts. Think about the fans. And then in his own time, gets on the luge, kicks off, and goes straight down this decline, luge style, 100 feet of it, in the form of pure paused light. So anyone who's looking down in a few seconds is going to see Helix tearing ass 100 feet below them. Clearly a head start, and he is going all in on speed for this speed leg. Yeah,
and I think because you are made of light, and with this matter photonizer, you are also just going to go so much faster.
Because light is fast, right?
Light's pretty fast.
Yeah, okay.
If you were to think of the speed of light, I feel that'd be pretty fast.
Okay,
yeah, for sure. So I do want to roll to see that you just don't shoot all the way past the pool.
Sure. Yeah, I like that, because is it too much? Is he go? That's
did you overdo it?
So I do have to pay 2 turbo to do this, so I've used a D6 and a kick, leaving me 1 D6 left. But I'm gonna do not use the D6 left on my hard light board. I will use it for my attitude. I think it's his smarts of just being like, light is fast and gravity is faster. So
Yeah. So this is 2d6?
2d6 to not overshoot the pool.
Trick, kick. What's your pick?
No trick.
Okay.
He's just going for speed on this.
Sure.
It's not a trick because I also don't really have I don't have the surplus kick to do it.
Yeah.
I think we
legit.
have crew dice if you want to add another die to that.
Okay, then I will take 1d6 from the crew. If someone wants to mark that, please. So I'm rolling with 3d6, but it is not a trick. It is pure pragmatic light speed luging down a straight drop into a pool of cranberry pop.
Dig it.
A 6.
We got a 6.
Just a flicker of light at the bottom, like a spaceship going light speed, but it all happens over the course of a 100-meter ski drop,
Yeah.
100-foot ski drop. Yeah.
I think there is absolutely no way that you are not the first person to ramp off and land in this pool of Cran Slam. So you get this air, you almost don't register that you're in the air. I think, because you're made of light. I mean, thinking about it, I think light is like light, weight. So it's almost just like a brief period of feeling like you have mass again and then you don't. So the brief period where you were like on the ground and had mass is the weird part.
Yeah.
Once you're in the air, it's like, normal again. And then you are completely submerged in a very deep, very big pool.
I was gonna have to go deep as this because I'm diving in.
Yeah, definitely deep enough that you can land in it and sustain no damage. But it is, if you get any Cran Slam in your nose, you are feeling it. It is pungent and overwhelming and intense. It is the most intense panic energy drink flavor yet.
Joke's on you, my nose is all swollen up and puffy too.
Oh, dear.
I almost said submerge. He does submerge, but then he emerges from the top of the pool to see, like, he looks up. Oh, and here come the rest of them. And pretty much by the time he gets to the surface of the water, there is now any number of Slugblasters about to fall directly on top of him in general air.
Not only do you see the rest of them, but you see what they have to contend with as well. I am spending a bite. Your activity in the flare portion of the race, helped in no small part by K-Jump's maneuver, has kicked up a bit of an avalanche. There is a cascade of snow barreling towards you.
I hope they notice that avalanche behind them.
So Trev is rocketing towards that lip and realizes, well, I don't want to lose all this momentum going straight out. So what Trev is going to do, I'm going to roll. It's going to involve his heavy-duty servos. And I'm going to use another die for my turbo, die for my attitude. And once again, declares, just as he's approaching the lip, scram cat, kitty cat, hover track, check it. And then, let's see. A roll of 5.
Mixed success.
So you can tell me at which point this all falls apart for me.
Yeah.
But I'm going towards this lip. My arms are at my side because once again I'm a humanoid bullet, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm going, and I turn my hands, and as I get to the lip, dig in so that it becomes a pivot point, so that it launches me straight down. All my momentum goes straight down as opposed to out. It's going right down the steep decline.
Okay.
And so I've maintained all momentum kind of doing that, and I'm going as fast as probably Trev has ever gone. And he's approaching the jump. The maths in his computer brain are trying to keep up with it. He's thrown off a little bit because of Helix jumping through time. So it's like, how did I miss data points? And and launches himself into the air.
Yeah, as you're rocketing down this steep decline, you can't help but feel like something in your calculation is off. You are going extremely fast, but also you still feel like there's some sort of burden holding you back. And you calibrate with your 360-degree vision and turn it back, and you realize that Whiplash from BRB is currently skitching on you. And as she is just fully riding with you down this insanely fast jump, and then what she does is she sort of pulls and like starts to throw your momentum off a little bit. And then she activates her own matter photonizer, turns into pure light, and shoots to you, blinks out of existence. To you, Helix, there is a splash and you don't see where it came from, and Whiplash emerges. This throws you off your trajectory a little bit, and you're going so fast that it's hard to maintain control. So I think what's going to happen is...
Do I overshoot the pool?
I think you are going to overshoot the pool. That's what's going to happen. And you're going to just sail right into a rocky ridge and take a slam.
Guess it's good that it's the robot that this happened to.
Oh, actually, you know what? Behind the pool is like a big lodge. It's like a party lodge. And you just like skim across the roof and land in a heap in like a mix of snow and shingles. So it's just going to be a rough landing slam.
And Trev's like, tumbles across the roof, comes to this halt, and something has been clearly knocked about inside of him. Yes, I did it. I completed the Scram Track Hover Kitty Cat. I was waiting all episode. I was like, I'm going to say it right every time until I get a slam.
As Maeve is coming down out of the flare portion and sort of approaching this lip on the edge, she's looking for K-Jump because she's been rattled by their previous encounter, and she wants to make sure that she's, ideally they win this thing and do as good as possible and they take the top of the leaderboard. But at the very least, she wants her name to be above K-Jump's name.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Where's K-Jump at this moment?
K-Jump at this point... She has been admittedly struggling a little bit in this. She was blinded. All of BRB was thrown off pretty badly in the control portion. She gave her team an edge and sacrificed basically her score in the flare portion. So she may not be scoring particularly high on the leaderboard, but she is making up for it in speed. I think she didn't even wait at the lip. She sort of ramped off of it and is shooting down. So Helix got ahead because of his light. Trev 4 and Whiplash got ahead a little bit, but she is now sort of at the front of the remaining pack.
Maeve knows what she has to do. Also, she hears this avalanche approaching from behind and realizes that she needs to go fast to beat K-Jump. She also just needs to not get caught in this avalanche. So I think where in the past two legs she has relied on her jacket to, the flash patterns, getting that early head start and bringing her out on the camera. I think she wants to, in this final leg, just prove her slug blasting metal, that this isn't all fancy tricks and signature devices. She is also a hoverboarder from way back and knows her stuff. So she sees this lip coming up that sort of forces you to take a pause and prepare for this drop. And without blinking, she swerves around it, spraying snow up with her hoverboard. She's going to essentially, cut an arc around this lip and continue on down with the full momentum that she's gathered, and just straight on down without taking a pause, hoping to get enough speed to get out in front of K-Jump before K-Jump lands. I'm going to put all of my remaining resources on this. So that's 2d6 from my attitude. And I have 2 kick remaining. One of them I want to put towards going extra fast to try and beat K-Jump, can I mark the second for an additional effect that I will specify if my roll goes well?
Ooh, I love it. Yes, always.
All right. And what the heck? We're in the 0 hour here. It's crunch time. I'm going to use Sacrifice Your Body as well to throw a couple more D6 on this roll because I really want this to go well. So I'm assuming the end of this may not go super well for me. I may be taking some lumps as I come to a stop, but we'll find out, I suppose. Rolling with 5D6 and 2 kick.
You doing a trick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. We have one single 6 in there.
1 6.
Rest are failures, but we got a 6.
1 6 is all you need. Let's take it home.
All right, so as I described, she misses this lip entirely, expertly weaves around it to keep her momentum, and then sort of evens out and is just a straight line down, just plummeting down this, passing members of BRB, maybe even passing members of Goldstar Disaster, focused on her goal. And meanwhile, this avalanche is closing in. I think the trick here is as she maneuvers around the lip, she does do a full 360. Like she not only swerves but does a little pivot as well to just throw a little bit of flair into that maneuver.
Anytime you hit anything that might be a little bit of a jump that gives you a little bit more boost, you do another little 360.
Yeah, I like that. And then as we're plummeting towards the finish line, the extra effect I specified, I think she hears K-Jump come down behind her because K-Jump kind of caught a little bit of air, and she has made her way in front, but she also hears the avalanche coming up from the rear, and the extra effect I want is that she pulls K-Jump out of the way of the avalanche just in time, repaying her favor from Thenispar.
Ooh, okay.
And much like K-Jump in Thenispar, she doesn't slingshot her or anything. She makes sure that makes sure that she's still in front when they hit the pool.
But yeah, you're sort of pulling her along, and you both sort of clear the jump together.
Yeah.
Clasped hands, but you are very much in the lead.
Yeah.
I love that. Amazing.
And I will mark a style.
Please do.
Ooh, what's my slam?
Oh yes. Your slam is belly flopped. You did not land in the pool very well.
Absolutely. I'll take it.
Wolt reaches this lip. He stops. He looks down. The death stick falls off of his lip. It's steep. He's just gonna try to go down it, I guess.
Okay.
At least it was double fours.
Yeah.
You don't want to take a dare or anything? You just...
No, I was kind of hoping I'd fail. I don't know.
All right.
I rolled 2d6 and I got a pair of 4s.
Mark a style for Steezy?
And it's a mixed success.
There's just somebody in the crowd just oh, that guy's really feeling it up there. Just saw that.
Okay, to describe how you're going down, are you trying to basically cut a straight line? Are you sort of looking for strategic jumps? Is Scampykin trying to help you? Poor little guy's in there. He wants to help his buddy Wolt out.
He wants to, but Wolt can't accept that help. He hasn't learned anything yet.
Woldton,
no.
My boy.
No. I think he just hovers there for a moment and just tips the nose over and is taking a straight shot down toward the bottom jump.
Okay, so then I think what happens here, I think Tybalt is going to return the favor with help from Zenly. Both of them sort of start helixing around you and again are getting a little too close for comfort. And so you find yourself needing to constantly sort of change course and shift direction, but no matter how much you try to sort of throw them off, they seem to still be information. They don't seem to be phased by what's going on. And so they kind of keep pushing you into directions that aren't great for you. And then the avalanche, I think, kind of catches up with all three of you. And they manage to sort of break off and ride the extra momentum from that snow, but you sort of get caught up in it, and your footing kind of gives out from under you for a little bit. You are going to be able to recover and clear this jump. You did roll a 4, which is a success. But I think what I'm going to do here is hit you not just with a slam, but a super slam. And it's sort of a combination physical, emotional slam. It is going to be, trying to think of the adjective.
Before you think of that,
Yeah.
I think I maybe want to invoke an ability of mine.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I want to activate Lucky. Once per run, Dumb Luck helps you. And I think Wolt, in trying to keep his balance amidst the slalom here, since his board is just an expansion of his die device, I think there are actually still controls on it in a way. And he manages to like accidentally pop his heel on a button or something.
Okay.
That summons up Scampykin.
Yeah.
And with this, I then want Scampykin to activate Guardian Mode. Mark 1 turbo to have your robot protect you or nearby teammate from a physical slam.
Excellent. You know what? Because you're invoking Lucky here, you don't need to mark the turbo. Scampykin is there for you. He's got your back.
Oh my god, true friendship. The power of friendship.
Friendship.
Wolt can't see it, but it's so strong.
Your slam was going to be a super slam version of held back, by the way. But Scampykin comes through for you and is able to boost you along. Maybe it's a combination of protecting you from the snow and using his mobility boosters to give you exactly what you need.
I think traditionally Guardian Mode has been he makes a bubble shield.
Oh!
So he blows a big bubble around Wolt, and then he just kind of starts snowballing and gains speed because the snowball grows.
To everyone else, a giant snowball like ramps up and lands in the pool of Cran Slam, and like it steams up as
Like melts away. Cran Slam slush.
Oh my god, amazing.
I've heard of doing a cannonball, but this is ridiculous.
I'm going to get one last roll to see how the rest of BRB handles the speed portion. Whiplash aced it. K-Jump is getting a significant boost, and I rolled a 3. So the others, not so great. Yeah, Tybalt and Zenly, I think, do still have to contend with the avalanche. They thought they could sort of ride the momentum down, but I think it impacted them more than they thought it would, and it actually is starting to, like, hamper them a little bit. They're still going pretty fast, right? It's a steep incline no matter what, but I think they have to start focusing a little bit more on controlling their descent rather than rocketing down. So when they manage to clear, it just is not... It's not a very impressive time. If someone were just to tackle this leg of the track alone, their times could pretty easily be beaten. And I think Bez is like, maybe their Rift Ninjas have started glitching as a result of colliding with you, and they keep sort of like glitching in and out of being ghostly, so because of that, they can't quite figure out what mass they are at any given moment, and are really trying to, like, really good at pulling off tricks. Just, like, going really fast is harder for them right now, especially because one moment they're going even faster and then slower and faster and slower, and like they also kind of need to stop and get their bearings a little bit. So again, their time is not that great for that reason. So all of BRB at this point has also rocketed up, landed in the pool of Cran Slam, and all of you are you've emerged and are sort of getting your bearings now that you're at the finish line.
Maeve and K-Jump landed together because of the maneuver she pulled. And so she kind of, they surface in the pool, and Maeve gives her a little playful splash and is like, hey, nice moves up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I could have done better.
Yeah, avalanche almost got you there, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is. I guess I'm going to have to take the course again for practice, you know?
Lucky I was there, huh? I'm sorry, could you moan that a little more into the camera? She holds up her phone.
She splashes some Cran Slam at you.
Scampikin, has anyone seen a medium-sized shrimp?
Maeve just like looks at Walt blankly and gestures to where Scampikin is like doing a little back float paddle and being like, yeah. Just having a blast.
Scamp. Thank you, buddy. I'm so sorry. I didn't believe in you. You've always been there for me. You've had my back, and I just got so scared. I didn't want anything to happen to you.
At this point, Scampikin's intelligence is back to that of a dog, so he can't really have a conversation.
But like, is maybe like doing a dog equivalent of like, or a shrimp equivalent of wagging its tail, and is just
His
like,
antennas twitch.
looking up at you with all the love in the world.
And he sprays some crayon slam out of his mouth onto my head.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Scamp. Shrimp hug.
Walt, that was awesome with the giant rolling bubble ball. Incredibly inspired. Dude, you really held your own out there. You're a heck of a Slugblaster. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Well, thanks, Helix. It really was so much thanks to Scampy, though. I gotta try and figure out this type of ice sitch.
Trev, you can hear Trev before you see Trev. I have metal grinding on metal as his like leg is sort of out of place, and he's
Like
hobbling
dragging himself.
coming around the side of the building towards the pool. And congratulations, error file missing. We did it. We were able to complete the cat track hover cat kitty scram.
I think Maeve didn't realize, like, she just assumed Trev didn't go in the pool because he's a robot, but like, we were in Desneen, so why wouldn't he be? And then, yeah, as you come hobbling up, she's like, oh, buddy, you look great. Let's just, here, let me, and she starts trying to like fix him up a little bit, reconnect some wires.
I appreciate that you were lying to me to protect my feelings. Oh boy, she hates you.
Looking at Keija.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a dumb question. This pool of energy drink in the beautiful chilly mountains, is it a warm pool or is it a cold pool? Because cold would make sense for the fact that it's a beverage, but warm would make sense for the fact that it's a, but not, you don't want warm energy drink.
Ooh, I think uncomfortably, it's cool when you first break in, but the deeper you go, it's like kind of warm and like it's been warmed at the bottom.
It's heated at the bottom.
Yeah.
You do not want to spend too much time in that pool, I will tell you.
Noted. Helix is already out. Well-established disgust of sugary, Wilkie streets.
Yeah,
He's
you're
like-
playing the wrong character for this particular.
Yeah, this is Lake's dream. And Helix is like, get me out of here. I'm going to be pulling sugar out of my ears for a week.
Maeve's like, oh yeah, I almost forgot about the secret flavor of panic. And she's gotten out of the pool to tend to Trev, but she kind of like takes one of her sleeves and sort of like wrings it out a little bit and tries to get a taste of it.
Why not get a taste of it right from the can? And you turn to see that Drew and Chloe are here.
Yeah.
They have made their way. They took a hover snowmobile down some back passages, and they're there with you now. And now you can sort of see your surroundings. Like, you see the big lodge that clearly you can have like winter parties. There are coolers strategically placed kind of everywhere. There's like a dance area in the outdoor section that kind of has a little stage. And they both work together, Drew and Chloe, and bring over a cooler and open it up, and just beautifully, immaculately placed in ice are just enough cans of Panic, Scramcat, Cran Slam to go around. There's maybe a floating orange drone that's kind of circling and like getting a view of everything.
Helix looks up the mountain and goes, oh, I see, it's shaped like a cat. The little ears are the mountains. I get it. Okay.
Drew goes and shoots you finger guns and then turns the finger guns into a hang loose sign.
Maeve turns to Trev and is like, you getting a vibe from Drew and Chloe? Did they come down on one snowmobile? Do you think they're an item?
It is hard to tell because it seems like she is about to faint. Hold on. And I go grab my can of the drink and go up to her. Here, why don't you drink mine? I cannot partake of it because it will melt robot parts.
Oh, I do have my own can of Wilkie's mandated Scram Cat's Cran Slam that I can drink for myself. That having a second can would go over my quota and taurine allotment. But thank you for the offer.
Maybe Pat's Trev, you tried your best, buddy.
I cannot make anybody do anything they do not want to do.
Yeah. Some people got to help themselves. It's all right.
Over my taurine allotment makes Helix bristle for a second. What are we checking levels on the? Oh, wait, no, that's.
Oh, and look at that. It looks like the scores are coming up on the leaderboard now. And you all turn, and from top to bottom, the names fill in one at a time. Helix, Trev 4, Maeve, Whiplash, Wolt, Zenly, Bez, Tybalt, K-Jump, Ass.
Yes! Oh my god, top of the leaderboard! Maeve, I'm ahead of you! Walt, I'm ahead of you! BRB, I'm ahead of all of you! Oh, this is incredible. I've never been at the top of a leaderboard. Look, I've been at the top of classes, I've been at the top of exams, I've been at the top of data sets, but top of a leaderboard. I wish Brinley was here to see this. I'm holy hell. All right, hell yeah. And he's kind of got this like crazed look in his eye, and you can't tell if it's just the dopamine of winning, which he's never really done before in Slugblaster, or just the fact that he's got a nose full of energy drink as he comes up out of this pool.
He's weirdly managed to like vent all this fog for a moment until it fills back in.
Well, yeah, I think the energy drink has evened out the fog. I think.
Yeah. One is canceling out the other for now, yeah.
But he's stoked. He's never won a Slugblaster thing before, and he's very excited.
I think at this point, BRP have kind of huddled around each other a little bit. They're all holding a can of Panic in the same hand, labels out, and they're like half conferring with each other, half trying to smile and be like, oh yeah, awesome for the cameras. And their smiles range in how genuine they are on a scale from Whiplash to Tybalt.
Maeve kind of gave K-Jump a hard time in the pool, but I think seeing them all kind of getting information realizes like, oh, we are here as Wilkie's representatives. We are a sponsored crew. We should, do our photo op. And so kind of gathers up the crew and goes over to be like, hey, good game, BRB. Y'all look great out there.
Yeah.
Real plesta.
Thank you. You all, of course, brought it as well. And Whiplash is nodding very, very short, tight nods as she's talking to you. And Tybalt's like, yeah, good job, Goldstar Disaster. You just, nice.
Hey man, sorry about the shirt. That I wasn't playing fair up there. I owe you a new one.
I kind of like it. Maybe I can make this work somehow.
Oh, is that it breathe a little better than the open shirt already did?
It does. It really does. Tybalt and Wolt just like weirdly nod at each other silently for a few seconds. Two chills are just interacting with each other.
Helix is giving everyone really genuine, like, two-hand handshakes, like where they put the other really good, great stuff. You're an incredible competitor, and thank you for bringing out the best in me. And he kind of going through all of BRB genuine, and then when he gets to Bez, there's just this moment where they look at each other in the eyes, and they kind of like have this weird connection because they both crashed into each other in a trans-dimensional space between realities. Like they've both shared something, the rare experience of crashing into each other while incorporeal, and they're just like two soldiers like silently nod at each other. Good game.
Good game. And it's the first time you've heard them speak. And last.
And yeah, it like lingers for a second, and it's hard to tell what they're thinking, but they have shared something transcendent.
Both eyes glaze over a little.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Great job on the leaderboard. And hey, cheers!
Cheers! Cheers!
Keep it. And all of you raise your cans of Panic Energies, Scram Cats, Cran Slam. And as the sound of all of your tabs, they all just go, and it's just like, ooh, so satisfying. You get another pungent whiff of the Cran Slam. You all take a sip, those of you who can. Oh, it's Cran. Oh, it slams. Come on and slam, and welcome to the Cran. Anyway. It is intense, it is sweet, it is delicious. But then, your celebrations are interrupted by a different sound. Soft at first, then gradually getting louder and louder. It's not a pleasant sound. It sounds like a combination of a swarm of insects and wet macaroni being stirred. The source of the sound is not immediately apparent, and then it appears, flying over a ridge behind the party lodge. This thing is almost as big as the lodge and 10 times uglier. Its reflective blue-black body breaks up into a half-dozen segmented wings, a sloppy mess of tentacles, and enormous, bulbous green eyes flanking a long, salivating proboscis. It's symmetrical, but that doesn't make it any more appealing. Those of you with a penchant for biology and Slugblaster lore may recognize this creature as a peeler-eyed dreadfly, an abomination that creates and feeds on alternate possibilities within the multiverse. Before you have a chance to act, it rubs its tentacles together disgustingly. Its compound eyes begin to glow. You can see the reflections in the segments of different people. People that look familiar. People that look like they could be you, had things gone a little bit differently. And then it takes aim and spews a gushing stream of bright green slime directly at you.